Welcome back. This is Mr. Hassan's Maths channel. I'm now answering question number 12 from the May-June 2023 International GCSE paper from Cambridge 0580. This is paper 23, paper 2 variant 3, and it's a question about vectors. They told us that the position vector of A is 5, 3. The position vector is an important word. The position vector of a point is the vector that takes you from O to that point. So the position vector of A is O to A. That's what it means, the vector from O to A. Okay, it's always from O, the origin, to that point. All right, so that's equal to 5, 3. And they told us that the vector from B to A is 4, 8. Okay, so if we make a little sketch here, it will help us to, sort this out. So let me just say this is O. Okay, O to A is 5, 3. So I'm just going to make it kind of like accurate if I can. So say 5 and then 3, something like that. It's just a rough sketch. So that's going to be the vector 5, 3, which is O to A. And then we know the vector from B to A is 4, 8. Okay, so let me think about it in reverse because we know what we know where A is. Let's think about this and say that means the vector from A to B is going to be the reverse. B to A and 4 is going to be 4, 8. So A to B is going to be the opposite. Minus 4, minus 8. So A to B is going to be minus 4 and minus 8. So if I want to go from A to B, I'm going to go minus 4. Let's say that's something like that. And then minus 8. So it's going to be down here actually. But let me just do something to make it. But let me move this up here so that I've got space. All right. You don't have to make the diagram, but a diagram does help with this question. So you got minus 4 and then minus 8. So somewhere down here, that's where B is going to be. Okay, so we know the vector from B to A is 4, 8. So we know the vector from A to B is minus 4, minus 8. Okay, so I'm going to write this like this. In fact, we have to find the vector now from O to B. We have to find the vector from O to B. Once we've found the vector from O to B, we can then find its magnitude. So show that the magnitude of the vector O to B is 5.1, correct to one decimal place. So we got to find this vector here. This is what we're looking for. Okay, let me call it xy. That's what we're going to find. Now I know the vector from B to A is 4, 8, which means the vector from A to B is minus 4, minus 8. Why do I want to write it like this? Because when I want to find the vector from O to B, I have to go from O to A. Okay, which is this vector over here, which I'll just write there. And then I've got to go from A to B. So O to B is like going from O to A, which is 5, 3, plus A to B, which is minus 4, minus 8. Okay, it's the opposite of B to A. All right, so that gives me 5 minus 4, which is 1, and 3 minus 8, which is negative 5. So that's a vector from O to B. Okay, but the question doesn't stop there. It says find the magnitude of the vector O to B. So basically, it's the length of this line. So if we think about it, we can use Pythagoras. We can use Pythagoras' theorem here. Okay, that's what we can do here to find the length of that line. So we can say we know what that length is. We know that what that length is because I know O to B is 1 minus 5. So I know this is now 1 minus 5. So this is 1 going across and this is 5 going down. This is a right angle. So I can use Pythagoras' theorem. I can say it's the square root of 5 squared plus 1 squared. The square root of the sum of the squares of the numbers inside the vector. So that's going to be the square root of 26. Okay, so we can then work out what that is. Of course, it's 5 point something small because the square root of 25 is 5. So the square root of 26 is close to that. So the square root of 26 is going to give you 5.0990, 5.0990, which rounds to one decimal place as they ask us to round it as 5.1. Okay, so that's the magnitude of O to B. Okay, so that answers this question number 12 on this paper. All right, so this is all about vectors. Making a diagram really helps. It doesn't matter if it was accurate or not. That really doesn't matter. Okay, I mean, we could have just done this like I could put, let's put O here, let's put A there, let's put B there. Okay, and we could have said, okay, I know the position vector of A, so I know the vector O to A. So I can say that this is the vector O to A. Okay, and I know the vector from B to A. So just, I know this vector from B to A. I want to find the vector from O to B. I want to find this vector here. So I can see here that I want to find O to B. That's going to be the vector O to B is going to be O to A, then plus A to B. Okay, plus A to B. Okay, so we're going to have O to A plus the negative of A to B, which is B to A. Okay, so we can just say O to A, which we know, 5, 3, and the negative A to B, which is going to be minus 4, minus 8, and that's exactly what we did. And then find the magnitude of the answer. So you don't have to make an accurate sketch. You can still get the answer in the end, no problem. But making a sketch does help us to visualize what's going on. So that concludes this question number 12 from this paper, May, June 2023. Other questions from this paper can be found on the playlist that will appear in this section over here at the end of the video. Other questions from vectors of IGCSE can be found in the playlist that will appear over here. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking in this link, and you can find other material from my channel that might interest you by watching this video. You can see how to find things quickly, efficiently. Thank you for watching. See you soon.